Hey friends, it's Missy again. Thanks so much for stopping in today. I'm back with a new layout for Hip Kit Club, and I'm using the 2020 November kits. I'm so excited about these kits because they are full of beautiful Christmas goodies, and I'm going to be using one of the cut files for this month, and I didn't even know where to start. The cut files, there's so many good ones. There's so many beautiful pattern papers. Everything is exclusive and gorgeous, and I spent most of my day just looking at everything, going, I don't even know where to begin. So I finally just made myself pick a paper and cut this cut file on it and just go, because otherwise I would still be staring at everything. So this is a soft pink paper with red snowflakes on it, and I thought that I would jazz it up a little bit, adding some mixed media to it. So this is just white gesso that I'm smudging on, and I'm doing this to allow me to add some color to it so I can kind of smudge it and blend it around, but also because I like that it's white and it makes everything look a little snowy and faded looking, which I love. So I did that to both Merry and Christmas, and then this pattern paper is going to be my background. Even though this is a pattern paper, I consider this kind of pattern kind of like a solid, even though there's a pattern on it, but it's perfect for a background because it's still very light and you're able to, add lots of things to it without the background pattern being too much. So I'm still going to add lots of white gesso to this, and I'm using my silicone brush there to apply it. You can use an old gift card, you could use a palette knife, anything with a side that scrapes, you can use it to do. You could use a brush, you could use your fingers. I like to use my hands, so I'm all about that too. So I'm going to go ahead and get that paper prepped up with some gesso. And then I'm going to go between two photos. It's a while before I decide. I've got this one of Paige at the Christmas tree lot a few years ago, and she was not in a good mood, so I've only got a few pictures. She was about to have a meltdown. And then this picture from another year at the Christmas lot, or the Christmas tree lot, me and Paige, and we're both wearing some red. So I kind of had ideas for both of those photos. I knew that I wanted to use some of the mixed media goodies that we get for this kit. We got several things this time, and this is a beautiful powder. It's a Nouveau shimmer powder in Jade Fountain. And it looks like liquid because it's in a bottle, but it's powder. So you just unscrew the lid, turn it over, squish it. How about squeeze it? There we are, making up words again. You squish it on, you squeeze it on, whatever. I'm still going with these weird words. Squish, squeeze. And then you add some water, and voila, it turns into this beautiful watercolor. So I'm going to start with that, since my original thought was to use the photo of her standing in front of the trees. So I thought that this would be a pretty color for the background. So I'm going to keep adding because it's very light and it is very shimmery. So I'm going to wind up adding lots of layers of this color. And it's going to be basically this big chunk of green, because I'm going to put the cut file back on top of it with some embellishments and the photo. So I want this to show around and in between all the letters, and just a big chunk of it to show. And it's a really pretty color. Love it. And I think it's a really pretty match to the pink and the red in this title. So in a sense, you could kind of say that I'm using some traditional Christmas colors, because there is going to be a lot of green and there's going to be a lot of red. However, I think the addition of the pink is really pretty, and it's still a very obvious Christmas layout, I think. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do to the Merry Christmas. We get one Lindy's magical powder this month, and it's a red color, and it is called Rudolph's Red Nose, perfect for Christmas. So I'm just going to activate a little bit of it and then dab a little bit of it here and there on these the words that I cut, and it's gonna look more pink than red because I am diluting it quite a bit, and it is on the gesso, because whenever I use white gesso with the Lindy's powders, things do dry a lot lighter, which is good. I didn't want this to be blood red. I wanted it to be kind of just a darker pink, and I love how that looks. Now this stuff, oh my gosh, I love it. Let me say that again. I love it. It's the Nouveau shimmer paste, I think it's called. glimmer paste, Nouveau glimmer paste. And it's basically clear. It's called Moonstone. It's so thick and glittery. I just stuck my finger in there and smudged it on, and it went on so perfectly. I was just gasping at how gorgeous it is. It's so shimmery and glittery. Oh my gosh. I mean, you rub that on anything and it is instantly going to stick, and it is going to look gorgeous. I think we got a silver color last year, and I remember gushing about it then. I need to dig that out because, yeah, I just kept going. I kept going. I'm going to do it to Mary and to Christmas, and I want to apply this stuff to everything on my desk right now because it's perfect. Yeah. It goes on so nicely and thick, and oh, it's great. Use it. I promise you'll love it. So I got the green background done, and look how shimmery it is. I mean, that powder is beautiful. It's hard to see here with my lights right over it, but it is a beautiful green. So I'm going to start to build the layout. I'm still going back and forth between the photos. They both look good, and I want to use both of them. I love both of them. That's why I printed both of them, but I don't want to use them both at the same time. So I just put those aside, and I know for sure that I want to pop the title up off the background. So I'm going to take some time here and cut up some adhesive foam to pop it up off the page, and I think that makes such a big difference. I finally just said, you know, you need to pick a picture and go with it. So I'm going to go with the one with the red and the pink in it. And I think in the end, I'm glad I did, because I actually kind of got a different idea for the one with all the trees in the background. I think I'm going to do that photo maybe next time or in a few weeks and use a lot of the Christmas tree cut files for that one. So I will use it, but just not on this one. Now, I'm going to start going through all of the embellishments. There are a gazillion things. There are chipboard stickers. There are cardstock stickers. There are puffy stickers. There are wooden veneer stickers. There are die cuts, acetate pieces, vellum pieces. I could go on and on. I mean, yeah, it took a while to open everything and just try to decide what I might want to use, because it just seems like an unlimited amount of things. So I start with a little Christmas tree. I really like these two snowmen who are hugging each other, but I think it was just a little bit big for this particular design. I couldn't find the right spot for it, so I just put it aside. Continue to go through everything. Here's another set of chipboard pieces. This one has some frames in it, and I really like this red and pink plaid one. I'm going to peel off the sticky part though so I can move it around. I did pull out some of the acetate snowflakes because they matched perfectly, and I thought that this would be a pretty background, just kind of like a sparkling snowflake, sparkling Merry Christmas background. So I think I'm going to use those, which I've already got down, and then I am going to add a little bit of layering behind the photo. I'm going to use part of this darker green pattern paper because the photo's got a lot of red and pink and white in it, and plus the border of the photo is white, so I'm going to add that green around it just to give it a little bit more of a separation behind everything, because I want it to stand out. Because when I start to add embellishments close to the photo, I want those embellishments to kind of be separated from the photo a little bit more, and so that's where the layering of the paper comes in handy. It just kind of adds a little bit of a color blocking, and the green was a good choice because it's not a huge color in the photo, if that makes sense. So I cut that frame in half so you can see a little bit of it on either side of the photo, and then I'm just starting to dig into all the die cuts. I opened up both die cut packs, the acetate pack, the vellum stars, and just kind of put them all together so I could just start rummaging through everything. And there are flowers, there are leaves, houses, cars, trees, everything. Anything that you can imagine for Christmas, it's in there. So yeah, it took a while. You can see there. I'm not a very neat and organized scrapper. I tend to just dump it and then start rummaging through. So yeah, my desk is as messy as my pages. That probably did not surprise you. But I found a couple of Christmas trees that I liked, a couple of flowers. I am going to trim off some of the white border on some of these die cuts because it was just a little bit thicker than I wanted. So I'm just going to trim that up a little bit. And I am going to use these two trees on either side of the photo there, and then I'm going to pull in some pink thread down at the bottom. And this is actually going to be the only thread that I wind up using because I just felt like there was really not another place that needed it. But I like the pink down at the bottom since the photo's got a lot of red and white and some green. I felt like since the Merry Christmas was pink, I'm going to use pink down at the bottom. Now, I did try some red thread, but it just did not look right. I think it took away from the page. I tried to put it underneath the Christmas part, but I instantly was like, nope, that's got to go. And I think it was mainly because it was red. I know I've said before that red kind of intimidates me on layouts, even Christmas pages, so I like to use it, but just sparingly in little bits. So like in this layout, you know, there's red in the photo, and then there's going to be a little bit more red added, but I'm going to go more heavy on the pink and the green. So I'm going to start to glue things down because I know the cut file is going to serve as my main title and as my main design element. So there's really nowhere else for that to go. So I can't change my mind about any of that. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And I like that it's at an angle. At first I was going to do it front and center and perfectly horizontal, but I decided to tilt it there at the, you know, once I got going, and I liked how that looks. And I think the photo is a little bit tilted too, but I like things crooked at an angle, so I'm okay with that. And yeah, I do take a little bit of a break after this gluing session, and I put something heavy and flat on top of this for a little bit to make sure that everything is glued down because it was not wanting to be flat. So I did that, and then I went back through all the embellishments, found a couple more things that I wanted to use. I am going to use this flower that's red, so I do have another red thing down here underneath the picture. And then this little ornament that's a heart, I'm going to trim off the ornament part and just use it as a heart. So that's another chunk of red. And then these little Russian dolls are just so cute. I'm going to use two of those since there are two of us in the photo, and I'm going to layer them together. It's like a mom and daughter because there's a bigger one and a smaller one, so I thought those were cute. And then this red flower and this acetate leaf stem are going to go right there under the photo, because when I got to looking at this and started working on the embellishments, I felt like I didn't really need to embellish on the Merry Christmas part. I like how that looks as is at this point, and I like the snowflakes all around it. I like that you can still see the background. It's very visible. So I thought that I would limit most of the embellishments to around the photos. And then I went digging through more things and found these puffy star stickers and thought, oh, this could be my chance to add a little bit more red. And at first I didn't like this. I just added the little heart, or not hearts, stars on the title. And I looked at it for a while and thought, do I like that? I don't know if I do. So I left them alone. And I just, you know, left them there for a while I worked on other things to see if they grew on me. I tried a couple of puffy stickers because I thought that I might add a smaller secondary title down on the open space underneath the photo there. And I tried a couple of things that just didn't work. So I opened up this little sticker pack. These are from Pretty Little Studio, and they're awesome because they're small and tiny and white, and there's so many of them, and they could pretty much go anywhere. And so I use a couple of those in a couple spots, and those look good anywhere because they're so tiny. So I added a couple of them underneath the photo, and then thought, okay, let me see if this might change my mind on these little red stars. I went to add some gesso on top of them to kind of fade them out so they wouldn't be so red. And then I realized that they weren't sticking at all because I added all of that glittery Nuvo paste to my title, so I had to glue them down first. And then I really did like how they looked after I added some white gesso to kind of make them look a little bit snowier. So, and I finally decided to add these little alphas for a secondary title. And I'm just going to do Love This because I wanted something small and short, and I already had Merry Christmas, so, you know, it was just a cute selfie. So I just thought, Love This. I know that's one of the most overused titles, but I don't care. I love it. So I'm going to go for it. And I'm going to use the green ones because I felt like I've got a lot of pink. I've got a lot of red. The green was a nice change for that area. And then I'm going to look for more of these little stickers. And I find one that's perfect that fits right under the Love This. And I honestly cannot even remember what it says at this point, but it fit it perfectly under there. And here's where I'm showing you up close the faded out puffy stars. I just smudged some white gesso on them, and I like how that turned out. So they look a little hazy and snowy. And then my journaling, I have the perfect spot for that down here underneath the Love This. And I did add some glue behind the Love This because nothing ever sticks to gesso. So I did that off camera because it's boring to watch glue. So I'm using a black fine tip Sharpie for my journaling, and then I figured out something was missing. I needed my snow. So yeah, we're gonna add some snow, even though we were wearing shorts in these photos because it was probably 80 degrees. But yeah, we're gonna add some snow, and I just like to do that with some watered down white acrylic paint, and I think it makes all the difference. But anyway, that's the final layout. I really like how this turned out. It was a lot of fun to do. I love all the products. All the mixed media products this month are perfection. I'm telling you, my favorite is this Nouveau Glimmer Paste. I'm going to be sticking my finger in that jar and smudging it on every layout that I make this month. So be ready for that because stuff is amazing. But yeah, I took a bunch of close-ups here, all of the little, look at those little dolls. They're so cute. All the layers, all the colors, all the things. I hope this inspires you in some way, or at least gives you an idea to try. And yeah, I really do love how this turned out, and I cannot wait to dig into the kits for next week. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you in my next video.